When you are going through a divorce, there are 100 things on your list. The lawyers, the paperwork, the custody arrangements, the house. Your friends are asking, how are you doing? Your family has opinions. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, nobody tells you to check your insurance policies. Nobody mentions that the coverage you've had for years might need to change completely. And some of those changes have a window. Miss it, and you could lose protection you can never get back. Today, I want to talk about something that almost nobody in Singapore is talking about openly. What actually happens to your insurance when your marriage ends? And what you need to do and when to protect yourself going forward. I want to start by saying something clearly. This video is not about blame. It's not about taking sides. It's about making sure that you, as a woman navigating one of the hardest seasons of your life, don't come out the other side financially exposed, because nobody walked you through this. Because here's the reality. In many marriages, one person handles the finances, one person manages the insurance. And when the marriage ends, the other person is often left not knowing what policies exist, whose name is on them, who the beneficiaries are, or what they are covered for. That information gap is dangerous, not because your ex is necessarily trying to harm you, but because insurance has rules, deadlines, structures that were built around your life as a married person. And those structures need to be reviewed and updated as soon as possible. The earlier you do this, the more options you have. The longer you wait, the more you might lose. Save this video, share it with someone who needs it. Let me walk you through the 4 key areas you need to look at. Number 1, who is the beneficiary on your life insurance policy? This is the most urgent one. If you have a life insurance policy and your husband is named as the beneficiary, that doesn't automatically change when you divorce. In Singapore, unless you update it, he remains the beneficiary, which means if something happens to you after the divorce is finalized, the payout goes to him, not your children, not your parents, not whoever you actually want it to go to. This is one of the first things you need to update. And the good news is, it's usually straightforward to change a beneficiary. But you have to do it. It doesn't happen automatically. Number 2, policies that are under your husband's name. What happens to those? If your husband has been paying for a policy on your life, or if you are covered under a policy he owns, he has the right to surrender that policy, change the coverage, or stop paying the premiums. You may not even know it's happening until the coverage is gone. This is especially important for women who were not the primary earner in the marriage. If your health coverage, your hospitalization plan, your critical illness coverage, any of it sits under his name, you need to know that now, and you need to start making arrangements to have your own policies in place. Number 3, your MediShield Life and Integrated Shield Plan. MediShield Life covers every Singaporean regardless of marital status. That one you don't need to worry about. But your Integrated Shield Plan, the rider that upgrades your hospitalization coverage, that may be structured differently depending on how it was set up. Check whether your ISP is in your own name. If it is not, or if the rider was attached to a policy your husband owns, you need to look at getting your own plan in place. And here's the important thing about health insurance specifically. The older you get, the harder it can be to get coverage if you have existing health conditions. Getting your own plan while you are still healthy is always better than waiting. If you have policies on your children's lives, education plans, whole life plans, check who the policy owner is. If your husband is the policy owner on your child's policy, he controls that policy, including whether it continues. Ideally, you want to be the policy owner on any policy that covers your child. This is something to raise with your lawyer and your financial advisor during the divorce process. The window you cannot miss. Here is something that very few people know. When a marriage ends, there is often a window of time during which you can make changes to your coverage to take out new coverage without being penalized for pre-existing conditions. Now, this window is not unlimited. And if you wait too long, if you let the divorce drag on for 2 years or 4 years before you think about your insurance, you may find that a health condition that's developed during that time now makes it harder or more expensive to get covered. This is not to create panic. It's to say, act earlier than you think you need to. The moment you know the marriage is ending, put insurance on your list, not at the bottom, somewhere near the top. Because the decisions you make in this window will affect your coverage for decades. I want to end with something practical. If you're going through a divorce right now, or you know someone who is, here's the basic checklist of what needs to be reviewed. 1. Check all existing policies, know what you have, what you own, and who the beneficiaries are. 2. Update beneficiaries on any policy you own immediately. 3. Identify any coverage that sits under your husband's name and start planning your own. 4. Make sure your children's policies are owned by you or get it sorted as part of the legal process. 5. Get your own integrated shield plan if you don't already have one in your name. 6. Review your life insurance coverage as a single person. Your needs have changed. 7. If you were a dependent or a homemaker, this is the time to make sure you have income protection in your own name. You're starting a new chapter and you deserve to start it with your financial foundation intact, not scrambling to fix things 3 years later when the options are fewer. I made this video because this conversation doesn't happen enough. Divorce is already one of the hardest things a person goes through, and the financial side of it, especially the insurance side, is almost always an afterthought. I don't want it to be an afterthought for you. If you're in the middle of this right now and you're not sure where to start, I'd love to have a conversation with you to help you see clearly what you have, what you need, and what to do next. And if you know someone going through a divorce right now, please share this video with her. Sometimes the most useful thing you can do for someone you love and care for is to hand them the information they didn't know they needed. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.